Chosen one, there is a reason your mind has always felt different. There is a reason people misunderstand you before they understand you. There is a reason you notice things others ignore, feel energies others can't explain, and carry thoughts so deep that even when you try to silence them, they continue echoing inside your spirit. God did not create you ordinary. You were designed with a level of intelligence that goes beyond school, beyond titles, beyond what this world measures as smart. Your intelligence is spiritual before it is intellectual. It is divine before it is logical. And the truth is, there are two powerful things you do naturally that reveal exactly why heaven calls you highly intelligent. Most people think intelligence is about speaking loudly, proving yourself constantly, or showing the world how much you know. But chosen one, real intelligence often moves in silence. It observes before it reacts. It understands before it judges. It listens before it speaks. And you have probably spent most of your life feeling isolated because your soul refuses to operate at a shallow level. You cannot fake connections. You cannot pretend energy does not matter. You cannot ignore what your spirit feels even when your mind tries to rationalize it. That alone separates you from the crowd. The first thing you do that reveals your divine intelligence is this. You spend time alone without being afraid of your own mind. This is rare, extremely rare. Most people run from silence because silence forces them to face themselves. They need constant noise, endless distractions, validation from others, and entertainment every second because being alone exposes their unresolved fears. But you can sit in solitude and think deeply. You can analyze life, patterns, people, emotions, and spiritual lessons for hours. Even when loneliness hurts, you still return to solitude because your soul understands something powerful is happening there. Chosen one. Solitude is where God sharpens intelligent spirits. Every prophet, every visionary, every powerful soul in history had seasons of isolation before elevation. The world sees isolation as punishment, but heaven often uses it as preparation. And what makes you different is not just that you spend time alone, it is what happens to your mind during that time. Your brain does not rest in shallow thoughts. You replay conversations, searching for hidden meanings. You study behavior. You recognize inconsistencies. You detect intentions before people reveal them openly. Sometimes this gift even overwhelms you because you see too much. You have probably walked into rooms and immediately felt tension nobody mentioned. You have probably sensed jealousy hidden behind smiles. You have probably known someone was lying before evidence appeared. That is not paranoia. That is discernment sharpened by solitude. God gave you the ability to observe deeply because your assignment requires wisdom most people will never understand. While others only hear words, you hear energy. While others focus on appearances, you focus on motives. This is why fake people become uncomfortable around you. Your presence alone exposes masks. And let's be honest. Chosen one, many people secretly fear your intelligence because it cannot be manipulated easily. You ask questions others avoid. You notice patterns they hope nobody sees. You understand emotional psychology naturally. Even when you stay quiet, people feel watched around you. Not in a negative way, but because your awareness is intense. They can sense you are studying everything without trying. That is why some people randomly become defensive around you even when you did nothing wrong. Spirit recognizes spirit. What many fail to understand is that highly intelligent chosen ones often appear calm on the outside while carrying storms of thought internally. Your mind rarely stops analyzing. You connect dots quickly. You think about future consequences before making decisions. You can read between lines effortlessly, and because of this you may have struggled with overthinking at times. But hear this clearly, your deep thinking is not weakness. It becomes dangerous only when fear controls it. Under God's direction, your mind becomes one of your greatest weapons. The enemy attacks intelligent chosen ones mentally first, because he knows once you fully trust your discernment, manipulation loses power over you. Think about your life. How many times did your intuition warn you before betrayal happened? How many times did you feel spiritually unsettled around someone, only to later discover your feelings were right? Your intelligence is not random, it is spiritual sensitivity mixed with wisdom, and the more time you spend connected to God, the stronger this ability becomes. There were moments when people called you distant, antisocial, or too serious simply because you refused to participate in meaningless behavior. But what they misunderstood as detachment was actually awareness. Your spirit craves depth. Surface-level conversations drain you. Fake laughter exhausts you. Gossip irritates your soul because your mind naturally searches for purpose, truth, and understanding. This is one reason many chosen ones struggle to fit into normal social environments. Their intelligence vibrates differently. And here is something powerful. God often hides highly intelligent people behind quietness. Loudness attracts attention, but silence attracts revelation. Some of the smartest chosen ones are not the ones constantly speaking. They are the ones observing quietly while everyone else performs. They are calculating spiritually. They are listening beyond words. They are sensing shifts before they happen. That is you. The second thing you do that proves your divine intelligence is this: you learn from pain instead of allowing pain to destroy you. This right here separates chosen ones from the majority of humanity. Most people repeat cycles because they refuse to grow from suffering. They blame others endlessly, stay trapped in victimhood, and never transform their wounds into wisdom. But you, even after heartbreak, betrayal, rejection, abandonment, humiliation, and spiritual warfare, something inside you keeps searching for lessons. Chosen one, do you realize how powerful that is? Every painful experience increased your awareness instead of reducing it. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every disappointment taught you detachment. Every season of loneliness taught you self-reliance. Every attack strengthened your intuition. You evolved through suffering instead of collapsing under it. That is divine intelligence. There were nights you cried alone, questioning why life felt so heavy. Nights when you felt misunderstood by almost everyone around you. Nights when your spirit felt exhausted from carrying emotional burdens nobody could see. But instead of becoming bitter forever, you became wiser, more observant, more spiritually mature. You started recognizing patterns in people quickly because pain trained your discernment. And the truth is, chosen one, pain often becomes the classroom for highly intelligent souls. God allows certain struggles not to destroy you but to activate deeper understanding within you. Some people gain knowledge through books. Chosen ones often gain wisdom through survival. You learned how to read energy because betrayal forced you to. You learned emotional control because chaos surrounded you. You learned independence because support disappeared when you needed it most. That kind of intelligence cannot be taught in schools. It is earned spiritually. This is also why you may struggle relating to people who never experienced deep transformation. Your perspective on life changed through suffering. Small talk no longer satisfies you because your soul has walked through darkness and came back stronger. You value authenticity because you know what deception feels like. You value peace because you know what chaos costs emotionally. You value loyalty because you know betrayal changes people permanently. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit becomes exhausted around fake individuals. Your intelligence detects emotional dishonesty quickly. Even when someone says the right words, your discernment picks up hidden motives. Sometimes you cannot even explain why you feel uncomfortable around certain people. You just know. That knowing is not coincidence. It is spiritual intelligence developed through experience. People often underestimate you because you do not always reveal how much you know. But that is another sign of wisdom. Truly intelligent people understand the power of restraint. You do not need to expose every insight immediately. You do not need to argue constantly to prove you are right. Deep down, you already know many truths before others catch up. Time usually reveals what your spirit sensed from the beginning. And yes, chosen one, this journey can feel lonely. Highly intelligent souls often experience isolation because their minds operate differently from the crowd. While others chase attention, you seek meaning. While others obsess over appearances, you search for truth. While others avoid self-reflection, you constantly analyze yourself and your surroundings. This level of awareness can become exhausting because you notice what others miss. But never mistake your difference for dysfunction. God intentionally separated you mentally so you would not conform spiritually. Imagine if you thought exactly like everyone else. Imagine if you ignored your discernment just to fit in. You would betray your purpose. Your intelligence is part of your assignment. There are people watching you silently, trying to understand how you remain calm after everything you survived. They cannot comprehend your resilience because they only see the surface. They do not know the battles your mind fought privately. They do not know how many times you rebuilt yourself emotionally without help. They do not know how much spiritual warfare tried to break your confidence. But God knows, and heaven keeps confirming your intelligence through your ability to adapt, observe, and evolve. Think about how much you changed over the years. You became more careful with energy, more intentional with relationships, more selective with access, not because you became cold, but because wisdom matured inside you. One of the strongest signs of your intelligence is your ability to detect patterns before outcomes fully appear. You can often predict where situations are heading based on small details others ignore. You notice changes in behavior quickly. You sense emotional shifts immediately. You pick up inconsistencies naturally. This is why manipulation rarely works on you for long. Even if someone fools you temporarily, eventually your discernment exposes the truth. And chosen one, understand this deeply. God did not give you this intelligence merely for personal success. He gave it to protect your destiny. Your awareness keeps you from entering certain traps. Your intuition warns you before danger arrives. Your solitude reconnects you spiritually. Your pain teaches you wisdom. Everything works together for your growth. Sometimes you wondered why your life felt harder than others, why you had to mature so early, why you experienced betrayals that changed your entire perspective, why loneliness followed you even in crowded rooms. But the answer is connected to your calling. Intelligent chosen ones are trained differently because they carry responsibilities spiritually different from the average person. You are not here merely to exist. You are here to awaken, to influence, to guide, to expose truth, to break generational cycles, to inspire transformation. And those assignments require a level of mental and spiritual awareness that cannot remain ordinary. This is why you constantly outgrow environments, friendships, and mindsets. Growth is built into your spirit. Even when you try staying comfortable, your soul pushes you toward evolution. You cannot remain asleep mentally because God designed you for expansion. And let's talk about something many chosen ones experience secretly: emotional exhaustion from constantly understanding others while feeling misunderstood yourself. You often see why people behave the way they do. You understand hidden pain behind anger, insecurity behind arrogance, fear behind control. Your intelligence allows empathy and discernment to work together. But sometimes this becomes draining because few people understand you at the same depth. Still, never reduce your awareness just to make others comfortable. Your light was never meant to shrink. Your intelligence intimidates insecure individuals because it exposes superficiality naturally. Some people may even project negativity onto you simply because they cannot manipulate or deceive you easily. Do not internalize their discomfort. The more you trust God, the sharper your discernment becomes. The more you protect your peace, the clearer your intuition grows. The more you embrace solitude, the stronger your mind develops. And the more you heal from pain, the wiser your spirit becomes. Chosen one, your life is proof that intelligence is more than memorizing information. Real intelligence is spiritual awareness, emotional control, pattern recognition, discernment, adaptability, self-reflection, wisdom under pressure. And you carry these qualities naturally. Even your silence carries intelligence. There are moments when you choose not to react because your spirit already sees the bigger picture. While others rush emotionally, you pause and observe. That restraint saves you from unnecessary battles. It protects your energy. It prevents manipulation. Not every fight deserves your attention, and your wisdom understands that. People may call you mysterious because they cannot easily figure you out. But what they interpret as mystery is often depth. You think before speaking. You study before trusting. You analyze before committing. Your spirit understands consequences deeply, and yes, there are moments when your intelligence feels like a burden. Moments when overthinking keeps you awake. Moments when your awareness makes it difficult to relax around certain energies. Moments when you wish you could stop feeling everything so deeply. But remember this, the same sensitivity that overwhelms you is also the same gift that protects you. God trusted you with perception because your purpose requires vision. Never apologize for needing solitude. Never apologize for thinking deeply. Never apologize for protecting your peace. Never apologize for evolving beyond environments that no longer align with your spirit. Your growth may confuse people attached to the old version of you, but growth is necessary. The truth is, chosen one, many people will only recognize your intelligence after time exposes everything your spirit already sensed. They will remember your warnings later. They will understand your distance later. They will realize your discernment later. But by then you will already be moving toward higher levels spiritually. You are entering a season where your intelligence will become even more valuable. God is teaching you to trust yourself more, to stop doubting your intuition, to stop ignoring red flags, to stop shrinking your awareness to preserve relationships built on illusion. Your discernment is a gift, not a curse. And despite everything you endured, look at yourself now. You are still standing, still learning, still evolving, still seeking truth. That resilience alone reveals extraordinary intelligence. Weak minds break permanently under pressure, but chosen ones transform through pressure. Every challenge sharpened you. Every betrayal awakened you. Every lonely season strengthened you. Every spiritual battle increased your awareness. Nothing was wasted. One day people will ask how you became so wise. They will wonder how you developed such deep understanding of human nature, emotions, and spiritual reality. But they will not see the hidden nights of pain, reflection, prayer, and isolation that built your mind quietly. God sees it all, and He keeps reminding you that your intelligence is not accidental. It is divine design. So continue protecting your energy. Continue listening to your intuition. Continue embracing solitude when necessary. Continue learning from pain instead of becoming consumed by it. These two things reveal the greatness within you more than any worldly title ever could. Chosen one, you are highly intelligent because you think deeply in solitude and because you transform pain into wisdom. Those two qualities alone separate you from the crowd spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Never forget who you are. You are not strange. You are not crazy. You are not too much. You are awakened. Anif Ami Saiths, Alphanage Sand. Ami Saiths, Alphanage Sand. You are awakened. Ami Saiths, Alphanage Sand. Hinsinsa Ol Nathai Says. You are discerning. You are evolving. And God is still elevating your mind for levels your enemies could never comprehend. Chosen one of the greatest signs of your intelligence is your relationship with solitude. Most people are terrified of being alone because silence forces them to confront their own thoughts, emotions, insecurities, and truths they spend their lives trying to avoid. They constantly search for distractions, noise, entertainment, validation, attention, and endless conversations because they cannot sit peacefully with their own minds. But you are different. Even when solitude feels heavy at times, you continue returning to it because something deep within your spirit understands that isolation is not always punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. You have probably noticed that your clearest thoughts come when you are alone, away from noise, away from confusion, away from people draining your energy. In those quiet moments, your mind begins to analyze everything deeply. You replay situations, study people's behavior, recognize hidden patterns, and connect dots others completely miss. This is not overthinking the way the world describes it. This is awareness, this is discernment. God gave you a mind that naturally searches beneath the surface instead of accepting everything at face value. While others are busy chasing attention, your spirit seeks understanding. You observe more than you speak. You listen carefully, not only to words but also to energy, tone, behavior, and intentions. That is why you can often sense when something feels wrong before evidence even appears. Your intelligence operates beyond logic alone. It is spiritual, emotional, and intuitive at the same time. Solitude strengthens this gift because silence sharpens perception. Many chosen ones spent years feeling misunderstood because people confuse quietness with weakness or distance. But your silence does not mean emptiness. Your silence is full of thought, full of reflection, full of spiritual processing. Some of the smartest people in the world are not the loudest in the room. They are the ones observing quietly while everyone else talks too much. And that is exactly what makes you powerful. You do not react emotionally to everything because your mind automatically studies situations before making decisions. There were moments when people called you antisocial simply because you preferred peace over fake connections. But deep down, your soul always knew that not every environment deserved your energy. You learned that being alone is far better than surrounding yourself with people who drain your spirit, manipulate your emotions, or disturb your peace. That realization itself is a form of intelligence many people never reach. Solitude also became the place where God developed your wisdom. During lonely seasons, you were forced to grow mentally and spiritually. You learned how to rely on yourself emotionally. You learned how to heal privately. You learned how to hear God more clearly without the noise of the world influencing your spirit. While others feared isolation, you slowly discovered strength within it. And the truth is, chosen one, your ability to spend time alone without losing yourself is rare, extremely rare. In solitude, weak minds collapse into confusion, but intelligent souls discover purpose. Your alone time is not wasted time. It is where your discernment grows stronger, your awareness becomes sharper, and your connection with God deepens. That is why your mind feels different from most people. Heaven designed you to think deeply, observe wisely, and grow spiritually in silence before being elevated publicly. Chosen one. Another powerful reason God calls you highly intelligent is because of your discernment. You have the rare ability to sense things that most people completely overlook. While others only pay attention to appearances, words, and surface-level behavior, your spirit naturally looks deeper. You notice energy. You notice inconsistencies. You notice changes in tone, body language, intentions, and hidden emotions even when nobody says anything directly. This is not coincidence, and it is not something everyone possesses. It is a gift. From a young age, you probably felt different because you could sense when something was off long before proof appeared. You may have walked into rooms and immediately felt tension without anyone speaking about it. You may have met people who smiled in your face while your spirit quietly warned you not to trust them. And many times in your life, those feelings eventually proved correct. That is because your intelligence is not only intellectual, it is spiritual discernment guided by awareness. Most people live only through what they can physically see, but chosen ones often feel what cannot be seen immediately. You can sense jealousy hidden behind compliments. You can detect manipulation hidden behind kindness. You can feel insecurity behind arrogance and dishonesty behind charm. Even when people wear masks, something inside you notices the cracks. This is why fake individuals often become uncomfortable around you for no reason. Your energy exposes what they hoped to keep hidden. Sometimes people misunderstand your discernment and think you are distant, overly cautious, or hard to approach. But the truth is, your spirit has simply learnt the importance of protecting your peace. Life taught you that not everyone deserves full access to your energy. Through betrayal, disappointment, and experience, your awareness became sharper. You no longer ignore red flags just because someone looks good on the surface. You understand that appearances can deceive, but energy rarely lies. One of the strongest signs of your intelligence is your ability to read beyond words. Many people can speak beautifully while carrying toxic intentions internally, but your discernment catches what their words try to hide. You pay attention to patterns instead of promises. You observe actions instead of empty speeches. This saves you from many traps that destroy others emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. There have been moments when you doubted yourself because people tried convincing you that your instincts were wrong. Maybe you ignored your intuition to give someone another chance, only to later realize your spirit was warning you from the beginning. Those experiences were not meant to weaken you, they were meant to teach you to trust your discernment more deeply. God gave you that inner knowing for protection. Chosen one. Discernment is one of the highest forms of intelligence because it allows you to see reality clearly. In a world full of deception, manipulation, and masks, your awareness becomes a shield. You do not blindly follow crowds. You question energy. You study behavior. You recognize patterns quickly. This is why many people cannot manipulate you for long. Even if you stay silent, your mind is always observing. And sometimes your discernment becomes exhausting because you see too much. You notice fake smiles, forced loyalty, hidden competition, and emotional dishonesty others completely miss. This can make relationships difficult because your soul craves authenticity. Surface-level connections drain you because your spirit naturally seeks truth and depth. But never apologize for your awareness. Never feel guilty for protecting your energy. God did not make you highly sensitive by accident. Your discernment is part of your purpose. It protects your destiny, guides your decisions, and keeps you spiritually aligned. While others ignore warning signs and suffer unnecessary pain, your intuition often reveals danger before it fully arrives. That is why your intelligence intimidates certain people, not because you speak loudly, but because you see clearly. Your presence alone makes dishonest people nervous because they sense they cannot easily fool you. And even when you say nothing, your spirit already understands more than most people realize. Chosen one, trust the gift God placed inside you. Your discernment is not paranoia. It is wisdom sharpened through experience, solitude, and spiritual growth. It is one of the clearest signs that your mind operates on a higher level than the average person. Chosen one, another powerful mark of your intelligence is how you transform pain into wisdom instead of allowing it to destroy you. Most people experience betrayal, rejection, loss, and emotional suffering, and they become stuck in it. They repeat the same cycles, carry bitterness for years, and let their wounds define their identity. But you are different. Even when pain breaks your heart, it does not break your awareness. It sharpens it. Every difficult experience you went through became a lesson, even if you did not understand it in the moment. When someone betrayed your trust, it didn't just hurt you emotionally, it taught you how to read people more carefully. When someone rejected you, it didn't just create sadness, it revealed where your value should not be placed. When you were disappointed, abandoned, or misunderstood, it didn't end your growth, it redirected it. Slowly, your suffering began shaping your emotional intelligence in ways comfort never could. Chosen one, pain has a way of revealing truth. It strips away illusions. It shows you who is real and who is temporary. And instead of becoming closed off forever, you became more aware. You started noticing patterns in behavior. You began understanding why people act the way they do. You developed emotional depth that allows you to see beyond surface-level interactions. This is why you often understand others even when they cannot understand themselves. Many people avoid pain at all costs, but in doing so they avoid growth. You, however, have been forced into situations where growth was the only option. You learned how to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. You learned how to reflect instead of react. You learned how to analyze your experiences instead of repeating them blindly. That is how wisdom was formed inside you, not through ease, but through experience. There were moments when you felt emotionally overwhelmed, when life seemed unfair, and when you questioned why certain things had to happen to you. But even in those moments, something within you was being refined. Your emotional intelligence began to expand. You became more patient with people because you understand hidden pain exists behind behavior. You became more observant because you know actions often reveal what words try to hide. You became more cautious because experience taught you that not everyone deserves access to your energy. And this is what separates you from many others. Pain did not turn you into someone bitter permanently. It turned you into someone wise. You no longer trust blindly, but you also do not close your heart completely. You learned balance. You learned boundaries. You learned discernment. These qualities cannot be taught in comfort. They are developed through lived experience. Chosen one, even your emotional intelligence is a form of spiritual intelligence. You can often sense when someone is struggling internally even if they pretend to be fine. You understand emotional patterns because you have lived through enough of them to recognize them in others. This makes you deeply aware of human nature. You see beyond reactions and understand the emotions behind them. And while some people see your guardedness and think you are distant, the truth is you are simply aware. You have learned that not every pain should be repeated, and not every person deserves unlimited access to your energy. That understanding is wisdom, not coldness. God allowed certain painful experiences in your life not to weaken you, but to elevate your perception. Each struggle refined your thinking. Each betrayal strengthened your boundaries. Each rejection redirected your focus. Over time, your pain became a teacher, and that teacher shaped you into someone far more intelligent than before. Chosen one. This is why you do not break the same way others do. You learn, you adapt, you evolve, and that ability to turn suffering into wisdom is one of the clearest signs that your intelligence is not ordinary. It is refined through experience and guided by something higher. Chosen one. One of the clearest signs of your intelligence is that you naturally outgrow everything that lacks depth. It is not something you force, and it is not something you even fully understand at first. It simply happens over time. Environments that once felt normal start to feel heavy. Conversations that once seemed entertaining begin to feel empty. Relationships that once felt exciting start to feel performative. And slowly your spirit begins to distance itself from anything that does not carry truth, meaning, or authenticity. This happens because your mind is wired differently. While many people are comfortable staying in cycles of repetition, small talk, gossip, surface-level friendships, and temporary pleasures, you begin to crave something deeper. You want to understand life, not just participate in it. You want to observe human behavior, not just socialize blindly. You want purpose in your interactions, not just noise. That internal shift is not random. It is intelligence evolving. At first, you may have tried to fit into certain spaces just to feel included. You may have forced yourself to laugh at things that didn't really interest you, or stay in conversations that drained your energy just to avoid feeling different. But over time, your awareness grew stronger than your need for approval. You started noticing how repetitive and empty certain environments felt. The same conversations, the same jokes, the same gossip cycles, the same emotional immaturity. It all began to feel like mental stagnation. Chosen one, your spirit refuses stagnation. That is why you cannot stay in shallow spaces for too long. You naturally start withdrawing, not out of arrogance but out of awareness. Your mind is constantly searching for truth, for growth, for something meaningful to engage with. When it does not find that, it becomes restless. This restlessness is not a flaw. It is a sign of expansion. You also begin to notice something very important about people. Not everyone is interested in growth. Some are comfortable staying the same. Some prefer illusion over truth because truth requires responsibility. And your intelligence starts recognizing that forcing yourself to stay connected to people or environments that are not aligned with your growth only leads to internal conflict. So you begin to detach, not emotionally cold, but mentally selective. Meaningless conversations start to feel draining because your mind is no longer stimulated by them. You prefer discussions that have substance, ideas that challenge thinking, perspectives that expand awareness. You find yourself observing more than speaking, listening more than reacting, and analyzing more than entertaining. This shift is subtle but powerful. It shows that your intelligence is evolving beyond social validation and moving toward inner alignment. Over time, fake relationships become unbearable for your spirit. You start sensing when energy is not genuine. You notice when people are present physically but not emotionally real. You can feel when interactions are driven by convenience rather than authenticity. And instead of forcing connections, you begin to step back quietly. Not because you hate people, but because you value truth more than illusion. Chosen one. This is why many people may not fully understand you. To them, it may look like you are becoming distant or disconnected, but in reality you are becoming more aligned with your true self. You are no longer willing to entertain relationships that lack depth. You are no longer interested in environments that keep you mentally stagnant. You are no longer feeding your spirit with empty energy. Your intelligence is guiding you toward evolution. It is pushing you towards spaces where your mind can grow, where your intuition can breathe, and where your purpose can unfold. And even though this process can feel isolating at times, it is necessary, because real intelligence does not settle for comfort, it seeks truth. That is why you naturally outgrow what is shallow. Not because you are running away from people, but because you are moving towards something greater within yourself. Chosen one, the intelligence you carry is not random, and it is not something you simply developed through experience alone. It is something that was placed within you with intention. It operates like a protective system for your destiny, quietly guiding your steps, warning you when something is off, and pushing you away from situations that could delay your growth or damage your purpose. What you often call intuition is actually part of a deeper spiritual design meant to keep you aligned with where you are supposed to go, even when the world around you is full of confusion and distraction. There have been moments in your life where you avoided certain people, opportunities, or environments without fully knowing why at the time. Later, when things unfolded, you realized that your inner awareness was right. That is because your intelligence is not only about understanding what is happening now, but also about sensing what could happen next. It protects your destiny by helping you recognize what aligns with your growth and what threatens your peace, even when everything on the surface looks normal or attractive. This same intelligence also helps you navigate manipulation. You are not easily controlled through appearances, words, or emotional pressure because something within you reads beyond the surface. You notice inconsistencies. You feel when someone's intentions do not match their behavior. You sense when energy is being forced or when interactions are not genuine. This awareness makes it difficult for people to deceive you for long, even if they try. Over time, you learn to trust what you feel internally more than what is presented externally. But your intelligence is not only defensive, it is also guiding. It shapes the way you understand people and situations. You often find yourself interpreting emotional patterns, understanding hidden motivations, and seeing the deeper meaning behind actions that others might overlook. This allows you to guide yourself through life with more clarity than most people, even if your path sometimes feels lonely or misunderstood. You are learning to rely on wisdom instead of impulse, and on awareness instead of assumption. At the same time, this intelligence carries a responsibility. You are not only meant to protect yourself, but also to influence others in subtle ways through your presence, your insight, and your example. People may come to you for advice without fully understanding why they trust your perspective. They may feel calmer around you, more understood, or more grounded, even if you are not speaking much. That is because your intelligence often expresses itself through energy as much as through words. However, this calling also requires resilience. You have been shaped through experiences that tested your emotional strength, your patience, and your ability to keep moving forward even when life felt heavy. Instead of breaking under pressure, you developed a deeper understanding of yourself and others. This resilience became part of your intelligence, allowing you to grow stronger instead of bitter, wiser instead of closed off. Chosen one, your wisdom is not just for survival, it is for alignment. It helps you stay connected to truth when everything around you feels uncertain. Your intuition keeps you grounded in what is real. Your resilience ensures that you keep rising even after setbacks. And together, these qualities guide you toward a higher calling that requires clarity, awareness, and inner strength. You are being shaped to walk a path where intelligence is not just about thinking, but about perceiving, understanding, and aligning with purpose. And every experience you have gone through is contributing to that greater design.